What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journeys. So today I got a treat for you. I got Lucidverse from Twitter, huge part of the Lucid community, to join me on here. So we're going to be talking about some upcoming catalysts, some catalysts that you need to be aware of, go over price targets, both 2022 and 2025, and then do a little bit of Q&A at the end. But with that, I'm just going to roll it out to Lucidverse to give a little intro.
How you guys doing? I'm 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, aka the Lucidverse. I'm excited to talk about Lucid today on at Financial Journeys channel. I'm a big fan of your work and your content. I love watching your videos. Let's do it.
But with that, I'm just going to let you roll it out and talk about some upcoming catalysts as far as what things to look forward to and what could cause the price to go up.
I was watching your video last night and I actually learned a couple things about Lucid. So we have actually a bunch of different catalysts that are coming up. One is on Tuesday, that's the nearest one, and that's actually a nomination that we had for another award for the Lucid Air, and I'm really hoping that we win that one. I believe that we will, and I hope to see an uptick in volume after we win that. The next is the PIF lockup, which is January 19th, which is a huge catalyst for short-term investors, retail investors, and also institutional investors. It's a day that a lot of people have been waiting for. There's going to be a ton of volatility within this week and next week because of that catalyst. And I personally do not believe that the PIF is going to sell any of their Lucid holdings at all because of a bunch of different stuff that has come into the news lately. The next catalyst that we have is actually the Q4 delivery numbers. And if we exceed those numbers, we could see a short squeeze in Lucid price very soon.
Yep, no, definitely. And some other things as well, as far as the Q4 earnings coming up, it's going to be most likely in the first couple of weeks of February. But as far as also their expansion as well, that's something that a lot of us are getting into and very excited about, is a huge expansion, not only just to Europe, but Saudi Arabia, and hopefully they provide a little bit more guidance on that as well. But no, I completely agree with you. The PIF lockup is going to be a very interesting part. There's a lot of individuals and a lot of characters talking about this, one of which is Jim Cramer. But what he says ultimately is that there's going to be a sell-off similar to what happened on September the 1st, but in reality I do agree with you, Lucidverse, honestly they have no reason to sell whatsoever, especially on the brink of huge growth years. It doesn't make sense for them to do that one bit. If anything, I do strongly think that they are going to be continuously adding and have been doing so the whole time, and that's going to roll out into another positive catalyst, is most likely around that same time period of their Q4 earnings, is when the PIF is actually going to be disclosing the 13F and to actually we'll know whether they've actually been buying or not. So ultimately a lot of good things as far as that, even growth wise as well, both domestically and Europe. Did you want to touch on as far as the growth in Europe and possibly elsewhere?
Yes. So we're seeing a huge expansion with Lucid Motors, and it's coming in rapidly. We got more expansion indication and updates on Canada and Ontario, so that's exciting as well. We're seeing the Saudi Arabian projects actually tweet out that they are very close and in advanced talks with Lucid to bring a factory to Saudi Arabia, which is very exciting for Lucid as well. That market is going to be enormous for the luxury electric vehicle market. And we're also seeing expansion towards Europe, like you said. And I believe that is a huge catalyst that is coming in for Lucid for their expansion and their growth, because we're seeing it at a huge rate, and we're not really seeing that in other electric vehicle companies. So that is a huge potential catalyst for Lucid, and they're going to be able to spend the money that they had with their convertible debt because of that, and it was so low interest. So Lucid is going to be funded for a pretty long time as well.
No, I agree with you. That's definitely one catalyst, is as far as their overall balance sheet and what they have as far as cash equivalents and stuff. They can fund at least up until roughly about 2024. Obviously, they are very ambitious with their goals, so they most likely will need more capital after that date. But in reality, they would have accomplished so much in that time period. I don't think a lot of investors would necessarily worry about that as far as the growth. So definitely you've touched on a lot of good catalysts coming forward. And obviously we haven't really touched on a lot of the speculation. These are known catalysts. So again, if you are new to Lucid or anything like that, make sure you take a look. So on Twitter as well, there is Lucidverse. He is a very big part of the community, does give a lot of good updates. So make sure you do follow him. He's going to be linked in the description below. Also, he does have a Discord. So make sure you take a look. He gives a lot of good info as well. So if you are a big Lucid fan, make sure you take a look. With that though, just want to transition and do some price targets. So as far as the tail end of the year, we'll start off with that and start with Lucidverse. So where do you see the tail end of the year, the price target?
So my price target for Lucid for the end of 2022 is above $100. I see bull case as $150. The conservative would be around $100 to $120. This is going to be a huge year for Lucid growth-wise, as well as production and delivery, and we could see some unannounced news that may happen as well. So I think that it's going to be a huge year for Lucid investors. Lucid early investors are going to be heavily rewarded.
As far as my price target, where I see that, I see it around the $200 mark for a couple of different factors, because as of right now, we all know that they have huge growth aspects, and especially considering they want a big footprint in Europe. And technically right now, Saudi Arabia facility is going to be obviously delivering those vehicles to Europe. So it's more of a domino effect that I'm more excited about. Yes, technically they want a fully functioning Saudi Arabia facility by 2024, but if they want to be funding vehicles to Europe, they're going to have to bump that up considerably. So definitely as far as their growth, that's one thing I feel will put it to $200 easily. Mm-hmm. With that, what do you think about 2025?
In 2025, my price target for Lucid is around 450 at the bearish, more conservative price target, and 500 minimum for my bullish case. I think that in 2025 we're going to be very close for their renewable energy, their ESS, energy storage systems, as well as their massive expansion is going to have Lucid rapidly grow in market cap, as well as we could see some potentially licensing out technology, as well as a partnership that could happen. And I think that my price target will exponentially grow if that does happen. What about yours?
Honestly, I'm very much in line with yours, 500 plus easily, especially considering they kind of move up their autonomous driving to meet in line with that. That's going to bring a whole new rush of new investors just based on that alone. But still, by 2025, we're going to be doing so much growth, so much as far as if you're going to ever compare Tesla to Lucid as far as expansion, because technically they're different markets, but there is a lot of things happening early on to Lucid that didn't happen with Tesla. So again, if you are going to look at the growth model for Tesla, for instance, that's going to be multiplied when it comes to Lucid. So again, yeah, I completely agree, 500 easily, if not more. So even more reason why it's going to be beneficial to the patient ones at the end of the day. So with that, obviously, I'm going to take advantage to do some Q&A with Lucidverse, the man behind the screen. I want to obviously ask some good questions about that. So with that, let's start off by why Lucid? Why? What makes you interested about Lucid?
I was always a big electric vehicle renewable energy fan, and an even bigger investor into those companies. I started out in NIO and Tesla as a big early investor into both of those companies, and I really understood what a lot of the auto analysts that are rating these companies did not understand, and that's just the simple growth of the electric vehicle industry as well as the renewable energy industry. And Lucid is going to be a leader in both of those. That's one of the main reasons that it drew me, as well as their battery technology is unmatchable. They have the best battery technology in the entire world right now, and it's only going to get better. Lucid is a great company, and they're starting to really hit the road running with their growth expansion, as well as they have a ton of different potentials with untapped markets right now. With electric vehicles, which is going to be starting to be a $1 trillion $1 trillion industry per year, starting around 2025. We're seeing renewable energies already almost hit the $1 trillion mark at $886 billion in 2020. Lucid is going to be the leader of both of those, and it's going to be a massive run-up for the best electric vehicle companies. There's going to be a lot of electric vehicle companies that are going to die off and just be bought out or go bankrupt, as we're seeing. You have to join the leaders, and Lucid is going to be one of them.
Yeah. So as far as what are you most excited about when it comes to Lucid, and whether it be the future tech or whatever it is?
I'm very excited about the battery technology, their energy storage system, which is about to hit $22 billion per year in 2026, and that number is going to continue to grow, and that's actually a conservative number. I also think that their potential licensing out their technology to other companies, maybe Silicon Valley companies like Peter Rollins has inferred in the past, which could be Apple. I see those three being huge parts of Lucid's future, and one of the main reasons that I'm invested into this company. It's such a high portion of my portfolio.
So if you were, with the exception of Tesla, if you take that out of the mix, if you were to invest in another EV company or companies, which ones would you pick?
I would pick NIO at the top of my list. I think that they are going to massively get that market share in China. I think that they're trying to grow globally as well, which is an unbelievable feat for that electric vehicle manufacturer. And I also think that Rivian is completely undervalued at this price. And I think that we can see a ton of more Rivians on the road than we're giving them credit for. And I see Rivian really becoming one of the biggest EV truck makers in the entire world. And I do think that Amazon continues to buy up their shares. I know that Amazon did just sign another deal with another electric van maker, but I just see Rivian as the next big truck brand and one of the big electric vehicle brands.
So this one's going to be a little bit more of a, just want to see what your comment is. So I'm sure a lot of us already have seen Warren, I don't know his last name, from YouTube, who likes to bring this up. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is he does actually have a very strong and a big fan base. So obviously he is roughly about 70,000 as far as subscribers. So what do you think about him saying that Lucid didn't even deliver 100 vehicles? And of those 100, they're all faulty and just worthless.
Well, I think that Warren has expanded his fan base based on hating on Lucid for unknown reason. He kind of puts out claims that are just out of nowhere. We actually produced 90 production vehicles by September. So for him to say that we only have 100 is very off the mark. As you can see from Bear's Workshop and his updates, we've had that in parking lots in 3 days. Lucid is already stating that they are going to do over-the-air updates to fix software issues and things like that, but their main focus was delivering and producing 577 vehicles. And it does seem like the media and a lot of other news sources are already saying that Lucid isn't going to make that goal, and we just don't know yet. What I'm seeing from Bear's Workshop and the posts that I'm getting, it does look like there's a pretty good shot that Lucid actually does accomplish that goal of 577 delivered vehicles. So Warren might lose some followers once these comments kind of hit him back in the face when Lucid is one of the top companies. But for right now, he's just gaining those short-term interests from shorters and things like that. But that may actually help a short squeeze pretty soon if the PIF does. And Q4 numbers are actually pretty amazing.
As far as a partnership, do you think there is a partnership in Lucid's future? And if so, who do you think it may or may not be?
I do see a partnership in Lucid being inevitable one day. I think that their battery technology is absolutely amazing, and what Peter Rollins has continued to say on his Q3 earnings and on interviews is that he would be open to partnering with a Silicon Valley company. There has been Apple and Lucid regarding partnership for a while now, and neither one of the companies have declined that comment. And per SEC rules, you actually have to decline if there isn't any reason for that rumor to exist. So the fact that Peter Rollins has been known to give investors and people hints basically with the cciv ticker and saying maybe, and then winking to the camera, or saying maybe we can do something with the Silicon Valley partnership. I think it may actually be Apple, and if it is, I see a 3x price movement.
Oh, easily.
Within the next couple of days of that announcement.
And it's very advantageous, and they both have for both companies, and they both have very similar ideas as far as end products, so it definitely does make sense. And I did bring up in a video as well, so I believe that the initial article came out in April, got reiterated again in September, but basically saying about a $25,000 vehicle that ultimately can be done in about 8 to 9 years or 4 years with a partnership. And then December 13th, another article comes out saying that Peter is saying that ultimately a $25,000 vehicle can be done in 4 years. So again, if you kind of piece it together, it does show that there's a partnership, and especially with Apple's previous situation that happened with Hyundai, it makes sense that they wouldn't just jump the gun and just say, yeah, we're working with Lucid. So with that, I appreciate your time. Obviously, got to see and hear from you. A lot of people got to finally see you, the man behind the screen. So I'm sure they all appreciate that. I'm going to be having you on a lot more. Definitely appreciate that. I love your insight as well. Definitely, it helps the overall community significantly as well. So with that, I'm just going to transition and let Lucidverse say his goodbyes and his farewells.
I really do appreciate you having me on Financial Journey. I think that everybody that isn't subscribed should definitely subscribe to your channel. I love watching your content. You should follow both of us on Twitter and check out our Discords. I am actually going to be going to Arizona and checking out the Lucid Studio and going to the service center and seeing the little updates that they have in Scottsdale. So I'm going to be exclusively putting that content out on Financial Journey's YouTube channel, which is going to be awesome. And I don't have the specific dates of that yet, but I will tweet them out as soon as I do have them. And I really do enjoy having this experience and being on the channel, getting to talk to more of Lucid loyals and Lucid Lions out there that are trying to really understand the electric vehicle world as well as Lucid stock. We have a great community on Twitter, so please check us out there. It's really great, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It was a pleasure. With that, though, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.
Let's do it.